Welcome back to Who's a Supercoach. Thought I'd just have a quick chat about today's practice games. There was Melbourne and Richmond, obviously, and that was only 2.5 quarters at the end because they got called off for lightning. There was also a big delay there. I think it was in like the first quarter or something. But yeah, you probably already know that if you're watching. And then Bulldogs and Hawthorn, which has just finished. So yeah, I thought I'd have a quick chat about them. You know what it's like in footy. The news is old news in about 10 minutes, so you kind of got to get it out as quick as you can. Now, I got to say, these games were honestly a bit of a slog to watch. And I've been craving watching footy for like the last 6 months or however long it's been since it was, grand final day or whatever. But yeah, this was hard. It's different when it's your own team. Like, you can watch the practice games. I think it's easier to get into, but really, I found it hard to pay attention. Like, obviously I did. I watched both games completely, but yeah, I think the reason why is because I wasn't seeing anything, and probably not across any of these practice games, that's really put me off anyone that's in my team or anyone that I was seriously considering. And on the flip side, I haven't seen anyone screaming pick me that wasn't really on my radar at all. Like, I'm definitely a big believer in don't get swayed by these practice games, particularly after last year, because I picked Short and Perryman and I really didn't want to, and I just went with the crowd, and I learnt a pretty valuable lesson there that hopefully will help me out this year. But to prove my point, you can see it again here. Jaden Short missed a preseason himself, so in 2.5 quarters he's gone 94 Supercoach. How many times did he even go 94 last year in full games? Not often. It's because they're just complete outside affairs, and yeah, they're not real footy at the end of the day. They're more like exhibitions. They're not playing to win. Yeah, you know how it goes. If you watched pre-season before, you're all footy fans. But yeah, to prove my point, Short, he's done well. Now, we'll go through the Melbourne players, but keep that in mind. Short has done really well, and he always does in pre-season because they're outside affairs. Same thing goes with Rivers and Windsor, in my opinion. They're both those outside kind of players, and they've scored really well here, but I don't see that happening in season. I think it's bait. There's been a few bait players. I think Bruin's another one, but I'm not talking about Geelong on this video. Yeah, these two here, Rivers and Windsor. So you only got to look at last year's CBAs and stuff to see that Rivers really doesn't score that well with CBAs. He's better outside of there. So yeah, I think he clearly prefers the outside, easier game. Just in general with Melbourne, actually, I noticed that their game plan has changed a lot, and it's not bad to watch. They play on at all costs. Maybe it was because they were against Richmond and they felt confident doing it, but what that is going to do in the proper season, they're going to leave themselves open for a lot of turnovers and stuff. So that's going to affect their Supercoach score. So keep that in mind if you're picking anyone from Melbourne. Max Gawn, I've said all along that I think too much is being made of the new ruck rules and stuff, and Gawn looked fine. I don't think he got out of first gear. Interesting that he only took 2 marks. He was getting his hands to some and not finishing the job, which normally he would, but I guess that's down to that finger injury or whatever he's recovering from. But it's definitely not enough to put me off picking him. And, Grundy looked good last night, or whenever that game was. And yeah, so far I haven't seen anything really apart from some of these tank rucks losing their spots to the jumping rucks. But, that's not just, it doesn't mean that these already dominant ruckmen are going to lose their dominance. I just can't see it happening. So, I'm sticking with Gawn and Cherry until I see a reason not to. It's a lot easier to pivot down from them. You can pretty much pick anyone than it is, if you go and pick one of these riskier new ruckmen, where are you going to go if it doesn't work out? I see a lot of people picking McAndrew at R2. Man, you're in deep shit if that doesn't work out. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're probably going to have to waste a couple of trades to get out of it. So yeah, Gawn looked good, just cruising along. Nankervis, poor old Nankervis, he's been a good warhorse for years, but he looked like he was playing for his career. And yeah, Gawn was still beating him. So, there's that complete golfing class. Lindsay, I think, got some kickouts. He looked good, better as the game went on. He was just starting to hit his stride, actually, and the game got called off, unfortunately. But yeah, if you're looking at picking him, he actually wasn't too bad. Like, I'm not, but I can see the appeal. Probably, I don't trust his consistency though. Melbourne, you got to remember, we're playing against Richmond, and Richmond are still firmly a bottom four team. Melbourne probably are themselves, or possibly, but Melbourne are probably still a fair bit better than Richmond, and they're not going to play him every week. Jath, he did some really good stuff, but man, he's a turnover merchant. He just makes stupid mistakes, and like, I know it's me criticizing him from my armchair, but yeah, like it says 80% disposal efficiency here, but to the eye, I wouldn't have thought it was anywhere near that much. He must have hit a lot of handballs or something, because he was just missing easy kicks and stuff, kicks that you wouldn't see missed in suburban footy. But he's playing AFL, so hats off to him. Jack still did alright. He's got the role that you want, so if you're going to go there and take that risk, there was nothing in this game to suggest you shouldn't do it. Still, yeah, 7 tackles in just over 2 quarters of footy. He's still a machine for that. And yeah, he's got the role. He's got that midfield all to himself, basically. Yeah, Pickett, he's got the role that you want, I guess. But I still think he's going to be inconsistent. Like, as I said, Melbourne's not going to play Richmond every week. He's still going to have those floor games. I think once the opposition starts putting a bit of attention into him, because he doesn't have like Petrarca and Oliver to shield him anymore, he's going to have some horrendous scores, I think. They'll still be the big ones, but think Shy Bolton. I reckon it's going to be something like that, so I'm not picking him. Langford started out quiet. He got better as it went on. Salem was disappointing, so I've got him in draft. I don't think he's like a classic pick or anything. I expected that he'd be the distributor out of defence for them, but really it looks like it's Lindsay more than Salem. So I don't know. Maybe Salem's just taking it a bit easy because he's getting older now. But yeah, not a pick. Who else is there from Melbourne that's Supercoach relevant? Latrell Pickett, the most blatant push in the back ever. They let it go. Tom Hawkins would have been proud of that one. Nice goal and stuff, but yeah, he's not. I don't think he's got like a Supercoach friendly role at all, so I wouldn't be going there. Yeah, not really anything else from Melbourne to talk about, I think. So yeah, as I said before, Mr. Preseason himself, Jaden Short, he topped the scoring in the whole game. Do not get sucked in. He does it every year, and he's burnt so many of us before. It can't happen again. Trezise, that's interesting. Okay, so last year I remember people were talking him up, thinking that he'd get the kick-ins and stuff, and kind of amounted to nothing, Supercoach wise anyway. But yeah, he looked alright in this game. Again, it's it's that outside kind of thing, so it's going to favour players like him. Banks was pretty good. 42% game time too, and he's still gone 71. That I'm almost willing to bet that he out-averages McKercher in the end. Just because Banks doesn't have the threat of Caleb Daniel, and I don't know why he's hanging around still, Caleb Daniel, but I don't know. Uze just seems like much less of a terrorist than Clarko. So, yeah, Banks, oh, that's tempting, very tempting. They're pretty similar prices, so going to keep an eye on him for sure. Don't think I got the balls to start him, but if he's going off after the first 2 rounds, maybe that's a pretty easy pivot. I really like the look of McAuliffe. If you're playing in a draft league and you haven't done it yet, get McAuliffe, I reckon. I think he's going to be good. He scores really well. He just had the injuries last year. I think he only played 5 games, but he's one for the future. Yeah, can definitely score. He's just too awkward of a price to pick him in Classic. So even though he only played the 5 games last year, he's still priced at 350k. So yeah, you'd need him to go pretty well to make you enough money. I don't know. They're safer options. Jack Ross, another one that was talked about. He's got not a bad role, but he's pretty up and down. He's another one that I've got in draft just because there was nothing else. So yeah, it gets kind of thin from here. Grill, I think he'll be alright. 42 in 2.5 quarters of footy. That's not bad. If he's going to pump out like 70s or something at his price, what is he, about 170, I think, 170k. So yeah, he'd make the money eventually at a 70 average or even a 65 will probably be alright. Just don't expect hundreds and stuff out of him, or he had that massive game last week. Don't expect that every week. But I think he's a pretty good pick. He looks pretty safe in the lineup, I'd say. A few get cut from this because obviously there was extended benches and stuff, but you can kind of tell the guys down the bottom that didn't play, obviously they're going to be first on the chopping block. Grill got 67% game time, so that's pretty good for a rookie. Yeah, I think he'll be alright. Miller looked good at the start, but he's up and down playing that key position kind of thing. I don't think there's anything else here. Gibcus, I think I've already removed him from my team. I'll check it. Hang on. Yeah, I literally removed Gibcus a few days ago and put Grill in for him. So Gibcus might have pretty good job security. Like I can see him playing a lot of games, but he just doesn't score. He seems like a good rookie in terms of actually playing the game, but in terms of Supercoach, I'm not sold at all. So I'm not going there. Again, like he's cheaper than Grill, so if it turns out that Gibcus is outscoring Grill after 2 rounds, then you can correct it. It's definitely something in going for the more expensive player, I think, so you can bail out a lot easier if it doesn't work out. Interesting to see Traynor as well at the bottom. Has he been injured or something? Like Richmond fans tell me, because he looked pretty good last year, so it's interesting that he's kind of been forced out to this extra spot here. So I'll go to the other game now. Yeah, this was better to watch, obviously. Cutler, well, they're both finals teams now from last year. Now that it's a top 10, unfortunately, but don't get me started on that. But yeah, the Dogs are pretty good. We know that. They got some great players. So Tim English obviously went pretty big here. I wouldn't get sucked in. First of all, he was against Meek, and I'm pretty sure he does well against Meek traditionally. Like he's that more athletic type. Meek's a tank, so it's kind of like that rock paper scissors thing I talked about in the ruck contest video I did. So yeah, I just checked, and English has averaged 131 against Meek over the last 2 seasons. So that was always going to happen, and I'm pretty sure if we look at his quarter-by-quarter scores here, because he was kind of quiet to begin with. So he scored most of his points here in the 3rd quarter. Now, a good chunk of that, he was up against Weddle in the ruck. Yeah, he kicked it. I think he kicked a goal or 2 on Meek in pretty quick succession, but he piled on the points against Weddle. Now, Weddle's not a ruckman. He's not anywhere near as big as English. Like, the commentators, it was funny, they were talking English up because he was beating Weddle in the ruck, but it's like anyone with half a brain can see that he's just going to outreach him. So, this is really handy to see how they score quarter by quarter. Don't know what's going on here in the 1st quarter, but yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, English looked good and stuff, but it's not like he had much competition. And as I said, he always does well against Meek because it's just a matchup that suits him. So, yeah, I wouldn't pay too much attention to that. Karmas, he picked it up. I can't see it happening in the season or anything. I think that's just a product of pre-season basically. Again, if he's scoring like this after 2 games, then okay, maybe then you'd have to get him in. But yeah, it's just one of those blue moon games I'm pretty confident in. So this was a real interesting talking point from the game. So you'll remember probably 2 weeks ago, a week ago, DR did a video with the guy from, is it called Inside the Kennel, something like that? I mean, the guy's got wicked insight, but he said that Fraser was now going to be the 3rd CBA mid, and we can see from this game that he's not at all. Yeah, Bevo reverted back to Bont, Libber, Richards, and even Kennedy, I'm pretty sure, was ahead of Fraser. So, I mean, Fraser kind of scored more in the 2nd half, or at least it looked like he got more involved. He still had 20 touches, but yeah, it's interesting. So that's how they've apparently trained all pre-season. And then as soon as there's a game, it goes back to how it's always been. And Libber looked $1 million, so I don't know why you'd bother taking him out of there. I know that Fraser's like player of the future and stuff, but maybe play him in front of Kennedy. But Liver's still so good. I don't know. Fraser's just a bit hit and miss for now because of his age, obviously. But yeah, I don't think you can confidently go there because unless he's getting, well, he needs good CVAs. I think I worked out was like he needs 30% or above to even be averaging anything close to like the numbers that you'd need for him to be a successful pick. So yeah, Bulldogs midfield, I'd say pretty confidently that it's not going to change too much yet. Sanders look good though. I can't look at that pick though. Like it's been bevoed way too many times to consider it again. So yeah, I think actually he did all right last preseason too. So don't get sucked in by that one either. So yeah, Bont, again, he was like gone. He looked like he didn't really get out of first gear, and he's still tunned. Like that's why we pay up the big bucks for the guy. Even in his sleep, he's going to ton for you at the very least. There is that game where Connor Nash took him out in I think it was the elimination final. That always springs to mind. And there was a time that Durham took him out as well. But apart from those two games, like he pretty much is always going to give you a floor of like 95 or 100. Yeah, I say just pay up for him. Seriously, you don't want to be scrambling to get him later. He's in my team. He hasn't left it for a long time. Yeah, just lock him in. Richards is pretty quiet, but again, it didn't look like they really were trying their hardest. So yeah, he'll be a fine pick. He's only going to get better. 6 free kicks for. That's crazy. This Croft kid, he looked good. 3 goals, but they were good. Like. Yeah, a couple of the plays he did were really, really nice. Like contested balls and set up a goal as well. Don't know if he keeps his spot. I think he's about 200k as well, which hurts. But yeah, he'll probably get dropped, I guess, when Darcy comes back in. Man, I gotta say that the commentators were absolutely like going off about Darcy the whole game, saying he was like the best forward in the league. Heard one of them say he was possibly the best player in the league. I just don't see it. Like, he's really good and stuff, but bloody hell, yeah, I think they're overdoing it a bit there. That's just my opinion. Okay, so this isn't Bramble. This is not good for Jakes, if that's how you say it. So Bramble's done alright here. Jakes was pretty quiet, although he had the 16 touches. Disposal efficiency let him down a bit. I don't know. He might be alright. A few people talking about Selwood. He was alright as well. But yeah, not good that Bramble's got 19 touches here. Because I think they're kind of competing with him. Like, well, Jakes in particular is competing with Bramble for a spot, I reckon. I could be wrong. I'm obviously not a Doggies fan, but, that's what it looks like. Buderick was alright as well. 21 touches. Yeah. Surprised me, actually. I thought he'd play like full lockdown, but he didn't. Or at least it didn't look like he did. This is the problem with doing a video like straight after a game. You don't have the luxury of having a look at, the CVAs and the kick-ins or anything about roles, really. Like, you're only going by the eye test. But yeah, Buderick looked alright. For the price he is, though, you'd want him to be scoring this like every week. And I don't think he will. Lob looked completely lost. Like, the Dogs need... I think they need another key defender and fast. Luke Ryan, anyone? He can play your third at least. Jones looked alright, but he's not going to score 3 goals every week, so you take them out and he's probably got a pretty shitty score here. But yeah, Fraser's the biggest talking point, I'd say, of the day. That was disappointing for anyone looking to pick him. But this is exactly why I'm not. And I never was going to pick him. I don't trust... not that I think Bevo's been a terrorist, I just don't trust that he's going to get the opportunity over these proven guys like Libber, even Kennedy, like these are all proven players that are consistent and some of them are premiership players. So obviously when the going gets tough, who do you think he's going to turn to? It's going to be them, and Fraser's just going to, it's going to hurt his Supercoach score and then starts losing cash and stuff. So, not good. What happened to Is it Carmichael? A lot of people talking about Carmichael. So he's not even gotten a game here. Is he injured or something? So, doggy supporters or whoever knows, let me know. But yeah, he's kind of fallen off the radar. So yeah, lastly, just go over Hawthorn. Newcomb looked good. He's going to need help this year in the midfield, at least until Day returns. If he does, he's always injured, obviously. But yeah, they're looking a bit thin in there. Ward was all right. 87. It's kind of what he was doing last year. I don't know if he'll take that next step. Impey is an interesting one. So he averaged over 100 last year without Weddle in the team. There's a direct correlation there. And the reason why I'm so confident in that, because sometimes it can be coincidence. As soon as Weddle come back in the team, Impey started averaging like 68 or something. So it's just, yeah, it lines up too perfectly. Weddle, I don't think was playing in defence as much. So I think that's why Impey scored well. But yeah, at his price, he's worth looking at. So he's another one that I got in draft. Yeah, I think keep an eye on the Weddle roll. So Hawthorn play in round 0, don't they? I'm pretty sure. So I'd watch that one again. And if Weddle is out of there or not playing much defence and Impey gets 25 touches or whatever again, then I'm honestly very tempted to go there. He's another one that you could chuck in instead of McKercher. Because I think there's a bit of danger with the McKercher pick. Probably more cautious on it than a lot of other people are, at least. He's sitting in my team now, but that could pretty easily change. But yeah, keep an eye on Impey. You heard it here first. Connor McDonald, 76. Not what you'd want if you're going to pick him at that price. I don't think Hawthorn's the most Supercoach relevant team getting around. Butler is meant to be some kind of hidden secret. 63 is pretty good. 2 goals too. He's cheap, isn't he? Is he like 119? I'm just going to check. Oh no, he's nearly 200. So, can't trust that roll for that price. Yeah, even in a good team, I'll steer away from that one. I think it's, there's actually quite a lot of good rookie picks this year, especially with no sub. I think we can confidently back in the rookies. So yeah, there's just too many of them that are cheaper, I think, and there's probably not going to be too much that sets them apart in terms of scoring, and it's pretty hard to tell this early on anyway. We know what it's like. Every preseason we think we know which rookies are going to score really well, the high draft picks and stuff. It never works out that way. There's always curveballs thrown up, role changes, you name it. So, yeah, I think just go for the cheaper ones at the moment, and the odds should be in your favour. It's a Star Wars quote, isn't it? I don't know. Dylan Moore, pretty quiet. I don't know what to make of him. I don't think he's really a pick anymore. He's just too up and down. Weddle was quiet, as I said. Sicily, his days of being a pick are done. That's a massive drop-off. I know he's playing to serve the team and stuff, but wow, he's just not Supercoach relevant anymore after he used to be an absolute star. Probably not much else here to look at. Yeah, I think that's it. There's not really anything appealing down here. But as I said, I didn't see anything really that screamed pick me, and I also didn't see anything that really put me off any player that I already had. So, yeah, Fraser, definitely the biggest talking point, I would say. And second to that, in my opinion, the fact that not much has changed in terms of the ruck and, what they're going to score. So, yeah, just be really careful if you're going to go down that cheap ruck route, because I think you can get in trouble if you don't have a bailout plan. Just please be cautious, because you can end your season pretty quickly. What do they always say? You can't win Supercoach at the start, but you can certainly lose it. So yeah, that's about it from those games. As much as they were a slog to watch, I guess it is good watching footy. It's kind of like some form of meditation anyway. You can zone out, but should be good watching the Crows tomorrow. Injury depleted, so we'll probably get to see some players we wouldn't normally see in different roles. I'll cover that game as well. We'll cover all the games tomorrow probably. I don't have any plans really, so yeah, rare time off, and just doing nothing. So everyone loves that. But yeah, just lastly before I go, I just please back in your gut and your preseason research. Do not get swayed by these preseason games. That's all I can say, really. Like, we do all the research and stuff for a reason, and normally your initial team ends up being better than the one that you alter 500 times because you've watched practice games. I'm not going to harp on about it too much. I'm going to leave it there. It's already 25 minutes on 2 games, so yeah, hopefully you got something out of this if you didn't watch the game, and if you did, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Love the back and forth in the comments. And yeah, I should be able to make another video tomorrow covering those games. And yeah, hope you're all enjoying the footy being back. It's getting bloody close now. I mean, footy is back, but I mean Supercoach, it's getting stressful, because I think you should be looking at you know, having that basic team worked out now. I think especially the primos. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video.